To quote quote a Billy Joel song, you may be right, I may be crazy. The thing is, how do we know? The truth is fairly easy to prove. A lie is much more difficult to prove. You can chase that forever. The truth is pretty easily identifiable in most circumstances. I've seen a number of videos in the last week, couple of days really, talking about Trump's immigration policy, how it's separating children from their families. What I want to know is which policy is it that's doing that? Which specific policy? Did he sign an executive order? Did he champion a law that was passed by Congress that he signed? Which policy is it that's causing this to happen? I don't want to know that you saw on CNN this, or you heard this government official say this, or that government official say that, which contradicts. Or that you saw on Fox News this, or you read in the Atlantic or the BBC or whatever. It has to be traceable. Otherwise, it's just opinion. Well, I dug into it. There has been no immigration law passed while Trump has been president. He signed 75 executive orders as of what's been released, and they're typically released within days of their signing. And I haven't heard of him signing another one in the last couple of days. Of those 75, I went back and looked at them all. I found one that dealt generally with immigration reform, etc. That was signed 5 days after he got in office. If you want to look it up for yourself, it's Executive Order number 13767. 13767. Primarily deals with funding regarding the wall, etc. But there is a section in there, I believe it's section 12. Subsection 5. It talks about how to deal with unaccompanied children. I could find nothing about accompanied children. So if you want to assume that a child becomes unaccompanied once they're separated from their parent, you could apply this, I suppose, although that's not what it's speaking of. In that section, it talks about unaccompanied children and refers specifically to the training of agents in dealing with unaccompanied children in reference to a law that was passed in 2002 and amended during the Obama administration. The specific act, which I can't remember the name of it, it's a person's name. And also the Immigration and Naturalization Act, which was passed in 68, by the way, 1968, and has been amended a few times since then. None during the present administration. And what this section says in reference to those things is that people shall be trained in the specific way that they do their job with relation to these two acts, following them specifically. You will be trained to do your job following the laws that have already been written. That's all it says about children. So what policy is it that people are referring to, saying Trump's immigration policy? Is it his supposed no tolerance? That could be it. So you're upset about his no tolerance policy, if you want to call it that. What does it say? It says we're going to follow the law that has previously been established by Congress, who, by the way, makes the laws, not the president. I found a stat out there while digging around that said under Obama, and could be wrong, like I said in the opening here, but it was for sure in the Obama administration, and it may have said all the way back to 2002. If that's the case, then it went from 2002 to 2016, and I believe that might have been what it was. There were 77,000 deportations. Of people that were caught entering the country illegally. Not that they went around knocking on doors saying, are you here legally or not? But they were actually caught in the act. 77,000 that were prosecuted and deported. That number made up 20% of all that were caught. That means almost 300,000, actually a little more than 300,000, were caught entering the country illegally and let go. So, Trump's policy of, no tolerance would be in opposition to those types of policies that let 80% of criminal activity slide. You may not like that word, criminal activity. I didn't make it up. It's simply a fact. If you break a law, you're a criminal. If you come into this country illegally, you've broken a law. Therefore, it's a criminal activity. You can read about all this yourself. Go read, if you want to read something about what our policies are, go read the Immigration and Naturalization Act. pack a sandwich, pack a lunch, okay? That was created in 1965 under Lyndon Johnson with heavy support from Teddy Kennedy. It was passed in 1968. It was before this act was passed. There were laws referring to this, laws referring to that. There were hundreds of them, hundreds of different laws regarding immigration policies. This act took all of those, squeezed them down into one thing, amended some of them, obliterated some of them, added new ones, etc. Now it's all in one thing. It has been played with and toyed with and amended quite a few times over the years. It still remains law. It's 50 years old. So in the 50 years since it was passed, Congress has not significantly changed it or altered it or saw fit to. Is that Donald Trump's fault? So what I'm asking, and you may think, oh, that guy's a Trump head, he's a Trump lover, blah, blah, blah. I'm not, okay? I support the president in regards to policies that I like, and I do not support the president in regards to policies that I do not like. I support some things he says. I'm highly unsupportive of other things he says. Plain and simple. I'm not interested in whether or not he succeeds as a president, whether his legacy is great or not. I'm interested in what would make that. You know, the bits and pieces of it are what interest me. I don't care which side it is that spouts something off. If it can't be supported by truth and fact, then I'm probably going to oppose it. Not probably. I'm going to oppose it. I don't care if it's CNN or Fox or the UPI, if they still exist, I don't even know, or the AP or whoever. If it cannot be supported directly by fact, then what is it? It's irrelevant. It's purely opinion. It serves no purpose in a debate like this. So, there you have it. What I'm looking for is to be proven wrong, because I'm interested in the truth, and as far as I've dug and found, I have not found anything that supports those statements. If you found something else that does, let me know, and don't say, oh, I heard that so-and-so did X. Tell me specifically what it was so I can go read it for myself. That's what we should be focused on, the truth. And then, if we determine that something is a bad thing or a good thing, we can act on that. If you don't like the current laws dealing with immigration, write your congressman. They're the ones that change laws. Write the president. Encourage him to encourage Congress to pass better laws. But don't just sit around taking one side or the other without merit behind your opinion. Donald Trump's policies are separating children from their parents. Show me the policy that is causing that to happen. I want to know.